welcome back to Big Experience 3 for day 2. Do you remember just a little bit ago we went on a lion hunt? And in fact, Mrs. Elpers said bear hunt the first time she said it, but it's really a lion hunt. Do you remember we are going on a lion hunt? This is a really fun book. We're going to read it again. We're going to go on a lion hunt and we're going to talk about what happens to the girls on their way. Okay, so this book was written by David Axtell. And these two girls are sitting on their bed at home. Look like maybe they were playing with something. She's eating. Looks like she's maybe having a snack. They're having a discussion. I bet they're talking about going on a lion hunt, because then it says, we're going on a lion hunt. We're going to catch a big one. We're not scared. Been there before. Okay, so they have set out to go on a lion hunt. Let's see what happens as they go on their lion hunt. Turn the page and find out. We're going on a lion hunt. We're going to catch a big one. We're not scared. We've been there before. Oh no, long grass. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. Can't go around it, have to go through it. Now, did they give up and say, oh, tall grass, got to go back home? Nope, they went through the grass. Swish, 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 swash, swish, swash, right through the grass. They did not give up. Let's see what happens on the next page. You might remember. We're going on a lion hunt. We're going to catch a big one. We're not scared. Been there before. Oh no, a lake. Can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it, have to go through it. Did they give up and turn back and go home? No, they did not. Look at them. Splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash. They went right in that lake. They did not give up and turn around and go home. They went through the lake. We're going on a lion hunt. We're going to catch a big one. We're not scared. Been there before. Oh no, a swamp. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. Can't go around it. Have to go through it. Did they turn around and go home, boys and girls? No, they went through the swamp. They kept going and they went through the swamp. And they went squish, 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 squash, squish, squash, squish, squash, through the swamp. They must have been wet by this point. They've been in a lake and in a swamp. We're going on a lion hunt. We're going to catch a big one. We're not scared. Been there before. Oh no! A big, dark cave. Can't go over it. Can't go under it, can't go around it, have to go through it. Did they go home or did they keep going? They kept going. They went through the cave. They did not turn around. They went into that cave. In we go, tiptoe, tiptoe. But what's that? One shiny wet nose. One big shaggy mane. That's the hair all over the head. 4 big furry paws. It's a lion. So what did they do? Back through the cave we go. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Shh. They don't want to wake him up. She even dropped her stuffed animal. Back through the swamp. Squish, squash, squish, squash, squish, squash. What came before the swamp? Do you remember? Back through the lake. Splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash. Look who's going with them. The lion. Back through the tall grass. Let's do the long grass. who's running beside them. The giraffes. I don't see giraffes in my backyard. And all the way home, slam the door, crash. We're all tired now, tired and sleepy. Better catch a lion tomorrow instead. Did they stick with it, boys and girls? They sure did. They stuck with it till they found that lion. That's called persistence. Let's clap that word together. Persistence. Persistence. Persistence is a word that we use when it means we stick with something, we keep trying, and we don't give up. Think about it for a moment. Is there a time when you've tried something and it was hard? And maybe you wanted to give up at first, like, oh, I'm not going to do this, too hard. How about when you first came to pre-K and you were learning to write your name? Some of you already knew how to write your name, and some of you did not. Or how about learning your phone number? You guys stuck with it. You learned to write your name, then you learned to write your phone number, and you learned to tell us your address. But you didn't always know that right away, and you didn't give up. You kept trying. That's called persistence. Mrs. Elpers has had to be persistent with things before too. Sometimes I've had to learn things that weren't easy to learn. One time I wanted to learn how to run in a race, and I couldn't run as far as the race was. So I had to practice, and I would practice and run a certain amount, and then I'd add on a little more each time. And I didn't give up. Some days were hard, some days I felt bad, but I continued to do it. That's called persistence until I could do it. So it's always good to have persistence and to keep trying. I bet I know another way some of you have been persistent. Some of you are learning to ride a bike without training wheels. And some of you have had to try. Sometimes you might fall down and scrape your elbows and your knees and it hurts and you cry and you maybe think, I'm never doing that again. But you get back on the bike and you learn and you try, and eventually, with all that persistence, you learn to ride your bike. Now don't worry if you haven't learned to ride your bike yet. Everybody learns at different times. That's just an example of a way that people have been persistent and that you might be persistent and keep trying something. I want to challenge you today. Your homework is to be persistent. Now that doesn't mean that you need to go to your mom and dad and say, I'm going to ride my bike today. No, it doesn't have to be your bike. Maybe you want to build a better Lego creation than you've ever built, but you know it's hard because the pieces fall apart when you get to a certain point and you give up. Maybe you want to build a tall tower. Maybe you want to learn to write your first name and your last name without looking at an example of it. Maybe you want to learn to do something like jumping jacks. Anything that you want to do at your house, at your home, that you've had maybe a little trouble with before, I want to challenge you to try it and be persistent and keep trying. Because one of the best lessons you can learn in life is that if you keep trying, eventually you'll get it. Be persistent and don't give up. It's an important lesson in life. I would love to see your pictures. If you've been persistent about something, we'd love to hear about it. And I thank you for that, and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll have another lesson, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends.